Hello, my name's Jess Marie. Welcome to yesterday's coffee grounds where I'm wearing yellow. I blend into this little wall here. I can't find my hairbrush. My hair is like scruffy, it's flat, it's just kind of doing whatever it wants to do. It's okay, we're just gonna let it be. So today I'm gonna talk a little bit about one job that I had in particular that was a complete curveball that I was never expecting. I guess a little bit of backstory. At this time when I got this job, let's set the scene a little bit. Let's set the mood because it is not the girl that I am today. I was 19 years old. I was short blonde hair, like short blonde hair, done up in makeup. I would wear heels to go grocery shopping. And I was working at a coffee shop. I had just graduated school. And even before then, this guy was prospecting me. He's like, Jess, you're strong. I want you to come work for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm finishing up my diploma. I just want to finish my diploma, work in my coffee shop. Got all my girls there that it's like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm happy. I don't need a 9-to-5 job. It was actually like 7 to 3 or 6 to 3, whatever it may be. It was early mornings and cold, very cold. But I was like, I can't come in. He's like, you can do weekends. I'm like, do you know me? Girl likes to party. I'm 19. I'm partying. I'm sorry. And when I did graduate and got my diploma, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take up this drywalling job. I was making $16 an hour, which at the time was pretty good, not too bad. And for a while it was cash money based on the job. So I get to the work site. And it's this big storage building. Oh, even getting my this was hilarious. So I had to get my steel toes, and because I've never owned a pair of steel toes before, so I barely held a drill before this. I barely held a drill before this because I grew up with a single mom. She worked 2 jobs. When's she gonna have time to teach me how to use tools? Right? It's not like we learned that in school. I didn't take mechanics or shop, so maybe I could have, but it wasn't on my radar. It wasn't my priority. So never held a drill before, screw gun. And going down, I'm at the Marks and I'm there with my best friend. And I have my $200 that I borrowed from a friend, and I'm strutting down the way, and I'm in my high heels, trying on boots. So I have one shoe with my high heel on and the other boot with my steel toe on. And I just thought I was the hottest shit back in the day. I'm like, this is so funny. This is so cool. Like, I love that. And I had so much confidence. It was not quite cockiness, but bordering the line of cockiness. Like, oh, look how good looking I am. Like, everybody must be wondering, why am I getting steel toes? Because I'm gonna be a drywaller, which is so funny because it's like not bottom of the bottom trades, but it's a pretty messy trade. It's kind of it's a messy trade. So my first day on the job, I was working in this giant warehouse, and I'm not good with square foot, so I don't know how big this thing was, but it was big enough for probably 50 carnival trucks. Carnival, like popcorn trucks, shrimp trucks, cotton candy, slushy trucks, all that. Basically, what we were tasked to do is put a wall in the middle of this big room so that they could have one side for themselves and one side to rent out to other people who are looking to store their vehicles during the off time. So I'm using the screw gun, and I don't even remember the conversation before. Have you used screw gun before? Yeah, I have. So using my screw gun, and I'm like, I'm almost done. Basically, I'm just drilling steel frames. So we would do everything from start to finish. So this was what it was amazing about this job. We started with the steel frame, and then we did all the insulation, drywall, taping and mudding, messy as fuck, and then the sanding, messy as fuck. So we did not only this huge wall in the middle, but on both sides, they wanted little like trailer-sized suites. So we had to do that. And then there was bathrooms on either side. So we did all the bathrooms. It was unbelievable. Like, just going through the process, we were there like for a couple of months. Like, this was my first job. It actually couldn't have been that long, but we did finish the project. And we also did a couple other side projects as well. Like, it was unbelievable. I only worked this job maybe January, February, March, because I moved in April due to unforeseen circumstances. But the fact that this man was like, hey, I see potential in you and I want to take you, like, hire you. And it wasn't like a sexual thing. Like, he had kids my age, right? I could have a whole video on this man alone. Thank you, Eric, for everything that you ever taught me. Like, it was actually amazing. And yeah, I'm really grateful for this human for bringing me into his life, and not only into his life, but also his kids' life, and being a part of their family and seeing their family dynamic as well, and just being a part of that. And it was kind of a shame what happened, that we had so much work, and then it just stopped. There was nothing. And it's because people were hiring him not as a drywaller, but they were hiring him as a taper and mutter. So basically just smoothing out all the connecting pieces of the boards and all the screws. So, and he would, and there's nowhere to hide like that, because he really wanted to train me to do that and be the taper and mutter and just build my own business. And I really regret the way things kind of happened. But anyways, there was no work, and it was probably 2 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, how am I gonna pay rent? How am I gonna pay my car insurance? I had no, like, little money, and I'm trying to pay rent. And then I was living with my brother in, I had like an off suite, and his girlfriend, and we're living in the house. They got a dog. They weren't taking care of the dog. I got into an argument with them. Like, if you're gonna have a puppy, like, you gotta take him out multiple times a day and not be upset that you lock him in his cage and he's peeing in the cage and trying to chew through it. You gotta, you know, it's a puppy. It's a baby. You can't leave a baby for 8 hours a day by himself. No. So we got into a couple arguments, and because I had no money, I was like, fuck it, and packed all my stuff into my SUV and left. I just peaced out. So not really the best on my part, but that led me onto my whole journey afterwards. It was just really tough. Like, Eric tried the best that he could during the times, the last 2 weeks where we had no work. It was unbelievable. I learned how to walk on stilts and tape and mud, and I was standing on stilts and just seaming everything, making everything look so perfect. And I am so blessed, and I never would have thought that would have been my life, and that completely altered my work ethic for the rest of my life, right? And I wish it was longer. I wish it was longer than 3 months. And I feel like I would have still been there, but there was some other plan that I had to go, and I felt this impulse to leave. A bunch of things happened, and it wasn't just with my rent situation and not having any work available. There was multiple other things that were kind of going on that I'm like, you know what? I think I need to leave. I think I need to move on. And it was really tough, because this was the only time in my life where I felt really confident with my friends. I felt very secure with my friends, my friend group. I had a nice balance of work, friends, play, and my own time. It was this beautiful balance, and I gave it all up. And I've been trying to get to that point again. I know there was other things going on. I was definitely going through some kind of loneliness for sure at the time, and some other things happened during this time, but yeah, what a badass. Like, I remember my girlfriend, she'd want to go to the bar with me, and she'd be all dressed up. She's like, that's my friend Jess, and she's a drywaller. There I am in my heels, all done up, and I'm like, thanks, Jocelyn. And people thought it was so cool. It was really cool. And anybody out there, if you're a woman and you're going into a man-dominated field, fucking persevere and take that confidence. And they're gonna say weird shit, and you just gotta have some tough skin. It's just the way that it is. And like, I'm glad that I only worked, it was me and my boss, and we had a couple other crews come in and out, but I have tougher skin. I can be a little bit more sensitive, but when it comes to guys and their comments, I'm not resilient to it. There's definitely things that really affect me, but it's a take it with a grain of salt and try not to take that personally, because I do have guy friends. I'm so used to crude comments and objectifying or sexualizing people, and that's fine. Sometimes you just got to play into it, and it's learning how to talk to different people. And I would sit with my boss and we would chain smoke cigarettes. Oh my gosh, I would pack a lunch and then I'd eat my lunch and then he'd be smoking cigarettes, and then I'd go over and have a smoke, and then he'd light up another smoke, and then I'd finish my smoke. I'm like, fuck, well, I'm just gonna have one more because we're not gonna take a break for a while. And then he'd fucking have another smoke. I'm like, holy snap, like, man, slow down. Like, this guy lived on, he would get, you'd never expect it by looking at him. Like, he's, you know, he's an older man. He's shorter than I am. I'm 5'10". He's an older man, and seeing this fucking man, like, lift up a slab of drywall by himself, like, holy shit, like, it's impressive. It's impressive. We're not talking about little slabs for a house. We're talking about industrial size. Don't ask me like anything like that. I have no fucking idea how long these pieces of drywall were. I have no idea. The screws, I don't know. How far studs should be apart, I should know this, but I don't. So anyways, this man basically survived on, every day we'd go to Starbucks and he'd get a latte. He'd get a latte with 8 honeys, 8 fucking honeys mixed into it. This is how I met him, working at Starbucks. and then he wouldn't eat all day. He'd just smoke cigarettes. Coffee and cigarette diet. Coffee and cigarette diet. Been there, done that. It does not work for me. But it was a great time while it lasted. But yeah, he liked to chain smoke for sure. And when I was broke, when money wasn't coming in or anything like that, he was a homie and he's like, Jess, I don't have any money for you, but I will give you half a carton of cigarettes. I'm like, shit, thank you. And he's like, let's go drive down to the gas station. You'd fill my gas tank up. He just didn't have money to give me. And it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna pay for my gas and give me cigarettes, like, I'm fine. I'll figure it out. But anyways, yeah, that's a brief story of when and why I became a drywaller. And yeah, my name's Jess. I hope you enjoyed this little story. And yeah, if you're a woman in the trades, fucking rights. Keep on keeping on, because I know it's tough. I know it's tough, but just have fun. Have fun. All right. Take care. Bye.